Reawaken to your immortal identity and discover life between life's wisdom. Presented by the Michael-Newton-Institute.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our next episode of the Wisdom series from the Michael-Newton-Institute. We have had the good fortune of having different people from different walks of life joining us as our guest speaker. And this time, I have a very special person here with me, someone who I've had the honor and the blessing and good fortune of working together and exploring many aspects of human life, human behavior. Today's guest is Fatima Al Shirawi, the founder and proprietor of the Gracious F Color Consultancy. She is based in Dubai in United Arab Emirates, and her journey is really interesting. Here's this young girl who traveled all the way to the United States of America to do her undergrad in George Washington University. She studied marketing, and then she comes to Europe and she delves into studying fashion. And then she delves a little deeper into the world of colors. She trained to become a color psychologist. And she brings all these lessons and learnings into her life, into her organization, her company. Teaches. She's a part of many community development, self-development, and youth-centered initiatives. She travels in the region and abroad, taking her work with her, sharing her lessons. And as a regression therapist, when I had the good fortune of connecting with Fatima, I learned another nuance, or if I may say, another body of layers of the learnings in the world of colors, and how she's going to share with us how spirituality and colors, how journey in her own life and colors have meshed so beautifully. And there's this whole fascinating world that she opened up when I first got to hear what she does and experience what she does. Hi, and welcome back to part two of our ongoing chat. This very interesting conversation that we're having with Fatima Al Shirawi, the color consultant, the color psychologist, who's taking us in her journey, how she has woven color, spirituality, and life. But you use two or three very important words. You use the word fragile. And when we talk about being fragile, it makes us vulnerable or enables us to at least acknowledge our vulnerability. And this then brings in for me, from the realm of the work that we do, the kind of practices that we, or the modalities that we practice, is how did spiritualism, how did you wave, or I would use the word weave here, how did you weave the nuances of color psychology and spiritualism, and possibly in your personal journey, if you have anything that you can share with us, and also in the work that you've done with your clients, how have you been able to weave this wave of spiritualism that you're riding, as well as the nuances of colors? Because that's another whole world. It's so fascinating when you use those terminologies of firelight, and I would love you to share about that. But give me both your journey and maybe the journey of any clients. We'd love to know.
Well, spirituality, as I said, being an empath, it has always been around. And I have always understood that there's a bigger energy around us. And there are a lot of things that cannot be explained. So my curiosity of this is when I went into spirituality. And generally, I'm a researcher, so I'd love to learn about different religions and different aspects. And honestly, by the end of the day, all of us are we believe in one higher being. It's just each one of us practice in our own way. And the hardest time in my life, I would say, where spirituality played a big role, and this is where I started on this journey of spirituality, was that after I graduated from university, after a year, my mother suddenly passed away. And it was a shock because I was there. So the trauma of not being able to do anything, and within seconds, your entire life is changed. So at this point in time, and I was 27. So at 27, what do you really know about life? And such a trauma, and so much responsibility was put on me. So the way I healed myself is I went more into my prayers, into like reading more our holy book and so forth. And this gave me a sense of comfort. But it was to a certain extent. I knew that I needed more. And this is when I started going into yoga. I started into going into meditation. And like also the sound bowl, this vibration, honestly, started opening up a lot of aspects of my mind. And when I started actually with a yoga teacher, we only did at that point in time, I was in very deep depression. And we only did soundboard for 3 months. That's all. And I was just fascinated that after 3 months, I literally had let go of everything without speaking. So this is where I really understood the profound energy that comes from meditation, from the vibration, from understanding a deeper meaning of the healing world. And the transition that I did into who I am today, the color theory played a big role, because when I started doing my second degree, after my mother had passed away, and my teacher actually came and told me, which I found, I wasn't very conscious of it, but she came to me and she's like, after 3 days of class, she was like, dear, I need you to get out of this color you keep on wearing. And I didn't notice that I was wearing always different shades of the same color. And I was like, I'm like, why? I'm always wearing something. She's like, no. She's like, have you noticed you're only wearing purple at all times? And she's like, you're in depression. And I was like fascinated because she knew nothing about me. And I was like, but I thought purple, and I was wearing actually purple thinking it's, oh, it's healing. And it is. But then I was overusing purple. That is why I was going into depression. And then when I learned about these personalities, slowly, me being in the shell and being very shy and very like, I was actually like very hopeless about life. I really didn't have any direction. I was just finding one interest after the other to distract me. And when I finished the course and I started applying it to myself, slowly, my energy became calm, my mind became clear, and then I started hoping. And I started even having the courage. Like I was a very shy person. Now I'm doing live interviews and on TV, and I don't sweat at all, which I find fascinating. Even people who know me from the past are shocked. So this journey really helped. But I would say what has taken me to another level, and color has played a very big role in this meditation, is very much the work I do with you, Indrani. And a lot of the regression work that we do, there's major colors that appear to me at all times, as you know, through the sessions, and even how I express myself. And like, for example, like I tell you, I'm in a room that's white, but then there is a certain light that's coming. Or even when I describe a person and I'm like, but I see them gray. Or, it's all about using color and expressing what's around you. So regression work has a lot of color sort of appearing in it. And I think it's a way of expression using these colors. Yeah.
That is very true, very, very true what you just said, because we've seen over the years, whether we go into the concepts of the chakras, where you have the cool colors and the warm colors, and each of them having a connotation. As we know, each chakra is aligned with the color. But when we go into LBL session, and you know, you've done your journey, so you know what I'm talking about. Every time a color and how you perceive the color, and how through healing sometimes the color itself changes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a very you just feel very humbled when you see someone go through that experience, because you can literally see the shift happening, and it's all being explained through the vibration they feel of the various colors, which is what you're talking about. Most of our viewers are those who I believe have either read Michael Newton's books, or books which are allied in the world of spiritual hypnotherapy, regression therapy, uh, you know, whether it's age regression or past life or life between lives or the soul's journey, the innumerable journeys that a soul has been through across lifetimes. It takes me to a question that when one is seeing someone, what is it that you observe with the color of the person? Is there any nuance to that? It's probably one of those very simple questions people ask, that does a person have their own color? Like if I were to ask you, Fatma, what is my color? Can one ask something like that? Do you get asked a question like that?
Yes, usually everybody thinks there's like one particular color that like describes them, which is not the case. When even when I ask a person, "What's your favorite color?" they'll tell me one color. It just shows your state of mind or your mood at that time or that phase in your life. So today, you could tell me my favorite color is red. Is that because you're in the state of mind of being passionate and excited and full of energy? But I come to you in 10 years and you'll be like, I like the color white, because maybe you're going through a new stage in your life. So that describes your state of mind. But when I sit with someone and they tell me, please tell me my color personality, what I look at is number one, their features, because that gives me an idea of which color groups, because each color group has certain features. Second, I see what color they're wearing, and their style, how their body languages, because it's very obvious with certain personalities, their body language. And then I sort of have a conversational question to find out about them. So it could be simple things like, oh, where do you like to vacation? The answer will actually indicate which personality they are. So these are the things that I look at when, for example, when I'm sitting with someone. And of course, after 14 years of experience, I literally know what personalities they are, but I don't share it because ethically, we don't like to invade a person's sort of personal space. So I always, like when somebody tells me, oh, analyze my husband or analyze my wife, I'm like, well, I need permission for them to allow me to analyze them. So here because this is very personal, you're really going into a person's psyche.
So does it change, Fatma? Like if someone is, let's say, a type A, would the person change to a type B? Just curious. I know you have different names for them, right?
Yes. So, okay. So I think let me explain the four personalities and then I'll tell you, it's not that they change, but they switch to depending on the situation and what they need from these personalities.
Okay.
So first we have a firelight personality. This is more jewel autumn tone colors, but this personality is very warm, like the colors. So they're a people person. They love to work in groups. They love to travel and learn about cultures. Their motto in life is save the world. So anything that they do has to support, give back, very generous. Then we have the morning light personality, which is more the youthful personality. This is a spring palette, fun colors. This personality is very sensitive to nature, so they love light, and they actually even suffer from seasonal disorder, so they get depressed when the seasons change. And this personality is creative, multitasker, very thinking out of the box, very good with children because they're very youthful. So this is one personality. Then you have the dream light, which is a more subtle version of the other two, which is somebody who is more quiet, sophisticated, appreciates art, is very good with their hands. So a lot of designers and musicians are actually dreamlike. And their colors are also very soft pastel summer colors. Then finally, we have the starlight, which is our leaders. This is a very strong, dynamic personality, very career oriented, very like a goal seeker. They're always the best at what they do, but they're very sensitive to their space. So they only are very minimalistic in their environment. They don't like color, so it's black and white. And they have because they're so focused in their career, their communication skills on an emotional level, sometimes people find them cold. So now when we analyze your personality, we find out what is your main and your subordinate personality. So your main personality is where you sort of originally come from, your features, your DNA. Your subordinate, of course, because our descendants, we've traveled the world and mixed. So the subordinate is slightly like your ancestors. So it shows a little bit of that. So here, when you have these two personalities, what you do is, even though this is your main, you go through different phases of life. So, for example, I'm a firelight with a dream light. So I have a very passionate people personality, which you see in my work. But then outside work, I'm a very shy. I like my time on my own, and I'm very creative, and I love culture and art and that world. So I'm two different personalities. Now, if my field of work was more in this personality, you would see this more dominant. And what happens, it's your phase in life or your field of work. So you start picking up from one or two of these personalities. So it's not that you change. These two will exist and stay with you all through your life. It's just you take your strength from each one when you need it.
So, for a person who journeys into the world of spirituality and journeys into doing, let's say, past life regressions, has done multiple past life regression, done ancestral healing, done their soul journey, and has connected with their soul group, has been able to meet their spirit guides, and then has that layered understanding of what the soul has brought in into this incarnation as who you are now. So now you already have your DNA colors, if I understood right. You've also understood what your ancestors are giving you, which is the part two part which comes along. And then because of your uh, exploration into your own soul realm and the journey that you've done as a soul, you've also brought in the other information that your subconscious has revealed to you, or your soul consciousness has revealed to you in the journeys that you've been through these sessions. How would you, Fatma, then put all three together? How would that enable or help you from the perspective of color or in your daily life?
Well, how that gets into each other, as we saw the different personality traits, uh, you will maybe have one or two of the personalities that are drawn to do this type of work that we do, which are exploring more of regression therapy work and so forth. So, for example, a starlight would not even take what we do seriously because they're very technical in their way, you know. And a dream light would be interested from a scientific knowledge perspective, but would be a believer, very skeptical. But the firelight and the morning light, very much, because the morning light is so curious and they will explore every level, you know. And the firelight is a very spiritual person. Like every firelight you'd meet is a healer or a giver of some form, you know. So it really depends on the personality that goes into this field of doing this therapy. So, so as you can see, because I'm a firelight, I'm very much into all of this. But I do, honestly, it's a journey. It's a journey. So you may be introduced to color, but then that opens up another level where you go into hypnosis, you go into NLP, and then you go into regression. So it's just you're sort of peeling off your layers when it comes to all this therapy that we do and the types of modalities that we actually start exploring.
Fatma, here's a question, and feel free if you don't want to answer it, but being a LBL hypnotherapist, I'm obviously very curious that with all your knowledge of colors, when you did your session to journey into your, your soul journey, as one would call it, did you come across your color, your soul color, similar to what you are in this incarnation? Did you find that color in the palette for yourself?
Yes, actually, the dominant color that I've, there are two phases I have had. There are two colors that are dominant. When I'm in a very happy stage in my life, and even when we do our work, where the result is something that's like an opening or a discovery, I go into this red mode, the red color. But what has dominant color that stays with me is pink because it's emotional healing. And that seems to be the dominant color even when I do the hypnosis actually with you. A lot of the time, pink is a very dominant color that keeps on appearing. And I'm sure you remember with all our sessions. So.
It's a very fascinating thing when we are able to give a significance to a color. Like when you speak about pink, it's so interesting. But for me, pink has that, as you said, it's a heart color. It opens up, it lightens up, it gives you a sense of expansion. And many times when clients talk to me and they in their session they don't see a form or a shape, but they see colors. And by and large, we've heard the association of pink with a lot of love, and that very nourishing, nurturing kind of very beautiful love, and a love which makes you feel very expansive, very nurtured, very supported, as one says, very fulfilled and loved. So even a color has a significance, and especially when we're looking at it in the realm of spiritualism, when we see people finding that connotation, and then to be able to identify it in their daily life.
Yes, very true.
Right, and which is why sometimes you start a day thinking, oh, today I'm going to wear this color, and then suddenly just when you're about to get ready and step out, you actually choose something else.
Yeah.
Right, so it's as if the color has a story to tell, the color has a message for you, and you're opening yourself spiritually as a soul, opening yourself to receiving and understanding.
Yes, the reason, the example that you just came is very good, because the first color you choose in the morning is describing your state of mind. So you, as you said, you may have, okay, I want to wear this color, but the first thing that attracts you is your state of mind on that day. So that's sort of an indicator. But an interesting tip that actually I'd like to share that we can use on a daily basis to create balance in our life. We have 4 primary psychology colors, and these are the colors that affect our emotions. We have red, blue, green, and yellow. Okay. So when you go about your day, for example, you wake up in the morning and you get ready to go to work. What are the emotions that you require for work? Open communication, focus. So you wear a color blue. So that gets you in the work mode in the morning. After you come out of work, for example, say you want to lounge and be at home, you would then go into something with the color green, because that would give you balance, relaxation. It's also the universal color of love, so you'd be getting a lot of self-love when you wear that color. Then, for example, somebody likes to go to the gym after work. So here's where you wear the color red, because it's a physical energy color. So here's where you wear that, it brings up your energy, you go to the gym, you enjoy, you get all your frustration from workout, and you're back. And then say after that, somebody wants to go socialize. So you want to get into this very fun, creative, friendly mode. This is where you wear yellow. So here's where you are getting the energy enough energy from four of these colors to put you in the right state of mind where you've served every single emotion you need for the day. So that's how we can use these colors to balance our daily life.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Fatma. I really appreciate this. And what I would love to say is that continue to explore, continue to delve deeper and deeper in the journey of your own soul. And I hope you, with your work, especially because you're working with the youth, and in a world where the youth need to have this awareness, I'm glad that you're spreading this awareness, spreading these messages, teaching, facilitating, and creating awareness. I think that's the most beautiful thing that we can give the coming generations. So a very, very big, warm thank you from Michael Newton Institute, and on behalf of my entire team, just want to say a huge thank you. And I'm so glad you shared your time, you shared your learnings, and I hope our viewers are going to be a little more aware of the color that they choose from here and now onwards. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this platform to share all my knowledge.
Thank you. Viewers, please keep watching. Please keep sharing with us whatever you would like us to bring to you. And you will be able to find Fatma in the link. Her details, her contact details will be there. And look forward to having you share your thoughts, your observations, your life lessons with us. Please do write, please share, and looking forward to bringing more and more like minded, beautiful souls in our podcast, the Wisdom Series. Thank you.